I'm like,
All right. Hey, ladies.
hey.
Hey,
Don't
how's
be
everyone?
quiet now. What'd you say, Lam?
I said, how is everyone?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm still giggling from the
And that's
side conversation we had, but yeah, Meek. So, what's on your mind today?
well, first of all, happy Saturday and God bless y'all. Okay. Because
Thank
I didn't
you.
say that. A lot of stuff is on my mind, but it's Saturday. We're gonna have a really good girl chat, and I'm looking forward to today's conversation.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I know we briefly talked about some of the delusion kind of versus I guess like expectations we have, and something that you said when we were in the back chat that really stood out to me, Meek, was this conversation around not not cooking, not cleaning, not bringing any type of making a man's life easier, or in a relationship in general, making a person's, I think that was Lamb that was kind of saying that,
Hmm.
making a person's life easier. We're kind of just in this weird space of what can I get, but that a lot of times does not last pretty long. So yeah.
It's so ironic because I wanted to talk about this on like a live, but I think I don't like lives either, y'all. But I'm gonna let y'all know. But it was something I want to talk about because it's like it's an imbalance. It's like I'm so used to being single, but I like when a man is around because like men give you that it's like a push, but then it gives you like they put you in like a space where you feel like giddy. At least I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like
Is it real? Is it real? I go back and forth with that because obviously we know it's real, right? We feel it, but it's like I guess it's we know what it is, right? They say it's like the dopamine and like
mhm,
serotonin that gets leaked when you are happily in love and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm more so speaking about that like honeymoon phase, first meeting
mhm.
a person. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, did our primal ancestors or creators know we needed this in order to bond? But
Yeah.
is it, like obviously people can make that last lifetime. We see happy, married, loving
Yeah.
couples, but it's just like that can cause some delusion right there, you know?
Absolutely. That's where the delusion come in because you be trying to maintain that. A lot of people try to maintain that first high.
But yeah, and I think that we don't like using the N word narcissism, but they out here whether y'all like it or not. But it's like, yeah, that's how it happens because not only do we just have these, I think, expectations, men and women, because I think a lot of women don't realize too, men put us on pedestals. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, Meek. And so we're human. All of us are human. And so although we would love to like, I guess, keep this facade, or whatever it is, or this energy, or keep the dopamine and serotonin leaking, whatever it is, it's like how long can we really do that before a disagreement comes up, like y'all were saying, attachment styles and things like that. This should be stuff that they teach us in elementary school, but we don't find out until we grown, so it's kind of it's really messy because you don't know what is just natural chemistry and just getting to know a person and falling in love, and sometimes just straight up love bombing. And that's gonna fizzle out. And it's like, who are you?
I don't understand the concept of love bombing.
You
Really?
don't?
Girl, I am a love
Nah,
bomber and I be getting love bombed.
I
Me?
don't get
What the
I
hell?
don't I don't get it. Like I maybe I have a lack of understanding of what it actually means, but the I think superficial level of it is like I don't know how it's someone can look at it as a I don't know. Like I need more information on it. How
So
is
it's
that?
I'm like, I don't know.
so so I think that first off, I like my definition, so we can pull up the definition of love bombing. But in general, this is the thing: we all love bomb to a certain extent. I think naturally, right? We all have something about us that really tries to, just if you're being genuine. love a person, and have this idea of what we want it to be or what we wish it to be, or this fairy tale, and a lot of people, especially a lot of red pillars, hate like the Cinderella stories, men and women who are red pill. They don't like the fact that we're fed this save me. It's toxic sometimes for the men, and it's toxic for the women to have this idea that really doesn't exist. But the problem with love bombing, when it comes from someone who's like narcissistic or somebody who has like ulterior motives, you know what I'm saying, outside of just trying to make a relationship, is that they give you all this. They give you all the love. They tell me, you're the most beautiful woman I ever met. I ain't never had anybody cook like
Mm.
this or touch me like this. But bro and honey, you've been saying that to every single person. Now, granted, I think naturally we have a reset of some sort to where when we get with a new person, it can feel very fresh. But these are people who intentionally know that this ain't gonna last. And I'm giving you so much love to
So,
where it's intoxicating to where when I snatch it away, it kind of causes a trauma.
okay. So then to me, it seems as if that would work on a particular type of person, right? Like if you get, enthralled in the fact that someone like, gives you a whole bunch of compliments and gives you things and stuff like that, and that makes you feel something better within yourself, then I think you're probably dealing with someone that probably has low self-esteem or low self-value or worth or what have you, because like outside affection or outside like gifts and stuff like that shouldn't give you something to where you're like, oh, this person loves me more because they're giving me more things, or they're, you know what I mean? And so like, I don't know, I feel like maybe it is a tactic for some people when they identify someone that needs that. But I think if you're a person that, truly knows who you are, then you won't be trapped into something like that, I think.
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
now you got me curious over here because I think that everybody loves to feel loved. I think I get what you're saying. And yes, women, men, I think we all have to do what Lamb just said at the forefront, put public service announcement. Just because a person buys me a bunch of things and gives me a crap ton of compliments and gives me everything that my heart desires,
Mhm.
although in my brain and my heart, I just want this, I want to keep it. You have to be wise enough to understand consistency is really what love is about, not just giving gifts or giving you a whole bunch of compliments. But in our defense, it's kind of like, man, when you are coming from households where you weren't ever validated, or like me, I'm the middle child, so I'm always kind of lost in the sauce, and it can feel really good. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that now because I'm not in a dating scene, but it can feel really good to just feel special, to feel like the one, So, and real quick before
I'm
Meek
like,
hops
let me come in and let me tell you how I love bomb because Miss Dina asked. So
Okay.
I'll explain it in my capacity because it's not for me. It's not receiving physical things. So I'm gonna be a little lengthy. So love language, mine number one, words of affirmation. That is my jam, especially because my parents put me down. And one of the ways I would soothe myself in my childhood was with isolation. So y'all know I keep myself isolated. I don't be dating. I be by myself. I know how to be by myself. So if I meet a man that I find attractive, because y'all know I be liking them fine too. So when he fine and he give me them words, like girl, you look good and you this, you amazing, you get shit done. Like when I'm hearing that, it's like you deserve everything. You are a wife. Like, oh, that's how they get me with that. You are a good woman. I don't understand why you still single. Like all of that, that's my love bomb. So then for me, because I am the caretaker as the middle child, because I was the more responsible one, I display my love with like cooking and being there and my words of affirmation. Like I'm gonna hit you up and be like, you are such an amazing man and you make me feel like a sparkly princess. Like and it'd be like, I'd be so thirsty. I'd be like, I can't wait to see you. I want to spend time with you because my number two love language is quality time. So it's just like I told y'all, like if I like a man, I will feed him. Like I'm making dinner anyway for me and my kid. I will go pack up a man a little Tupperware, little to go thing, so he can see how good I cook because I like cooking for people, and that's the way to your heart, right? right, okay, like I'm gonna show you I got all these wife qualities over here. So that's how the love bombing is. Like I be real thirsty with it too soon because it'd be like day 8. I said, let
Is
me show
that
you how
love
I
bombing
live.
though? Is that love bombing though, or is that just you being who you are?
Well,
I
this is the
don't
thing.
know.
This is the definition.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
love bombing has to be an actual specific thing that you're doing in order to get some sort of result that you want versus
I do
just
want
being
a
who you
result. I
are.
want to be
You
a
want the
wife.
result of the relationship. That's what she Love bombing is a manipulative tactic often used by people with narcissistic personality disorder to gain control in a relationship. Friends, family, or romantic partners can love bomb you by showering you with gifts, being overly complimentary. I think I messed that word up, or constantly giving you affection. And I think what's
So is that
also
unique? Is that
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I be all of that. And
In a
then
narcissistic manner?
when I feel like when I feel like wife not on the line, I pull it away so fast. It's like, and then the men be like, how you get so cold? And I be like, oh, it's been in there the whole time, but I'm not getting what I want, so be blessed.
so be blessed.
It's like
Me. Okay. I see it. Okay. Okay.
So it's only when and this is what sucks for us as women. I don't care what nobody say. Dating for women is way worse than dating for men. I don't care. I'm gonna stand on that because this is the thing. Even with Meek's love bombing, right? Women naturally want to partner with they want to like they some people call it the nesting, right? Where a woman kind of comes over your house and she brings her toothbrush and she brings up some pajamas and women naturally will build a nest for the man that she loves and the people that she is protective over, right? And so a part of this is primal and we can't really help it because so many of our ancestors, this is how we survive. We couple up and whatever. But the problem is when you're coupling up with someone who's actually the enemy and you're the prey, that's where the issue comes in. And I feel that with men don't appreciate what they don't earn. People, period, don't. But I think in relationships, they really don't. So it's really hard for lovers or people who, in Meek's case, she's not being narcissistic because yes, does she want something? Of course, right? But like I said, some of that is a bit primal to me. But it's really her love language. You cannot give love to people who have not earned it or don't deserve it outside of just common love that we have for our strangers and whatnot. Especially with men, because when they get that, they will think she giving this to every man. I only known her for 2 weeks. Why is she doing all this for me? Although for us, no, you just might be that fine one, or you just might be the one who has the key to my heart. But yeah. And also too, one other thing I want to say just real quick before y'all hop in, giving compliments. This is going to sound toxic. I don't care. Do I think you should shower your man with love and affection and compliments because they need their ego stroked? Of course. But I think that is once they are your man. I'm giving you.
Damn, Crystal, he can't be handsome.
Now you look nice. You look very nice. I like the suit. I like your shoes. Very nice. Quick, let's go.
Very nice.
During the dating phase, because if not, and you can't, it's sad. I get it. I used to be there. You want to initiate it, a few dates. Once y'all get into that flow, it doesn't matter, right? Once you're like 3 months in and babe, they got a concert coming, let's go. Yes, but I think it's for like at least the first month or a month and a half of like steady dating, you have to let the man be the pursuer because they don't want to admit it a lot of times, but that turns them on. And once they feel like you're pursuing them, they're like, this can't be my dream girl. It's too easy. She making me a plate. Although for us, me and Meek, we're just like, dude, I just cooked extra food. Now I know you got to eat, but we cannot mother and nurture men who are not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the conclusion I had come up with when I was dating.
Too much too soon. That's what I hear. Slow down. Be more patient.
Who do you hear that from?
The therapist. I've never been a flow goer though. And I'm really big on needing direction. I need leadership, and I need to know where I'm going. What you mean go with the flow? Where this river end at? Like, do I want to go to there? So I don't know.
So then that means that Meek can't say anything until they until they take that leadership role, I feel like, because I think it's very important for a man to tell you what he wants for the relationship versus that's why I always say, like, whenever I'm talking to women, if a man asks you, so what do you look for? What do you want? That is a not for all men, especially men who aren't toxic, right? But for a woman, that should be a trigger comment. Like, because if
Dina
you
right. Look, Dina right in these comments.
then that's my homegirl. What she say? She said
This last one.
she's a
Right.
spiritual advisor as well. She's my friend. She's actually visiting me from Arizona. She said, you don't allow them to show you who you are because you are too busy, because you are too busy catering to who you
Hope. She corrected herself.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so let's do that one more time. You don't allow them to show you who you don't allow them to show you who you are because you're too busy catering to who you hope they will be. Bars. Definitely. Yeah.
I understood it, Dina. I read it. I got it. I was like, yep, that's exactly what it is. It's like the idea in my head. You know, fantasy husband, Mr. Make It Happen. Y'all know I gotta figure it out. But it's like, even if I see a sprinkle of Mr. Make It Happen in him, I'd be ready to show him like why I am the perfect match. And then I don't even be finding out if he's Mr. Make It Happen yet, because I be so thirsty.
It's the facade. It's the physical for you. It's be trapping you, Meek.
I do. It's not always the physical though. Like, I like hearing certain stuff. Like, if you like words for real, really get me more than anything. You know,
and that's the
look
worst
good with the words. Oh, that's it. It's a dangerous combination.
That's so, and you know what? And it's so weird because when you learn dating style and like what to do properly, that's the main thing they tell women. Don't ever listen to what a man is saying. Look at a man's actions, and that will show you who he is. Because unfortunately, we all got this mouthpiece, and that's why, like in astrology, Taurus rules the second house of your voice box and your money. If you can't talk, you can't make money. You know, if you can't talk, you can't get valuable things. And a lot of times, women, you will be in a man too, but you're you're valuable to a man. So he knows, let me just say these things. Let me just do these things. And for me, what helped me when I used to date is sex is the last thing on my mind. And women in a natural state shouldn't be more sexual than a man, right?
Yeah.
We get that now women are definitely giving men a run for their money. But if I know you're coming into this date, you know, you could be looking for a wife. You know, there are plenty of men who are like, I am ready to settle down, but you gotta, I think you have to show him. And if you're not careful, you'll meet the majority. To me, what I feel like is 70% of the intent on the first date is sex for men or X for men. So it's like, here you are presenting when you really should kind of have the side eye. I don't care if it sounds toxic, is what it is. Kind of trying to see, how am I going to see that this man is more than just talk? You know, so I get it, Meek. It's hard. And I used to be very much like you still am, where it's like, let's not play. We know what we like. We know what we want.
It's really because I'm old feeling like, and I have to start feeling less old. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Lamb, but I be feeling like
you feel old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like the clock is almost out. So it's like I'd be like in panic mode. I'll be like, man, these eggs is cracking. My kid only getting older. Like, am I gonna forget how to be good at stuff? My knees hurt more.
No, Lamb.
You go now.
All you need is do some squats and some good mornings and some Romanian deadlifts. Your knees will be all right.
I do all of that. And I still be feeling like I feel so much older than I am, and everybody around me be mad at me because in my world, I tell people, I'm like, man, I'm like 42 for real. And they be like, no, the fuck you're not. Like, get out your head. And I'm like, I am a 40-year-old woman.
So okay, I was just gonna say, like, I know we were talking about love bombing and like that whole thing, and you were saying, Meek, words get you, and then some physical things, and I get it. Like, we're women, like when you hear compliments, like it's nice or whatever, but I don't know if this is gonna make me sound big-headed or whatever, but I was always taught, like, one, I don't believe half of what I hear about what anybody says. You can say anything to me, I'm going to be skeptical on it, and not in a negative way, but it's like I don't believe things that people just tell me most of the time. Like, I need I need more than that. Like I need, like Crystal was saying, action behind whatever your words are. So you can tell me I'm beautiful all you want to, cool. I'm gonna need you to show me that. Like, and I don't mean like by buying me things or giving me things, but it's the way you treat me. And so nice, like, and that's the thing. I've actually heard where there are some men that they will not compliment a woman because they think it's going to go to their head or what have you. And it's like, I think that does happen. But as far as for me goes, it's like I said, you can say all you want to about what I am and how the type of woman that I am and all that stuff, but it's not going to convince me that you're the person for me yet, just because you're saying words, you know? And I don't know if that's because of, if I'm conceited or what that is, but it's like, I'm more reserved, and I like to analyze things and look at people and see what they are before because that's how you don't get deceived by people. You know what I mean? You got to be a little bit more. I was going to say
you're more patient.
Yeah. Right. So. I'm patient. I'm patient because I know it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me safe. You know what I mean? Being able to analyze stuff a little bit longer is better. You know,
that's what I'm working on. That's literally what I'm working on. Because it's like, I really be trying to get to the finish line. I'd be like, I don't see why how you not falling in love on first sight by week 7. Like day 7, you should be in love. By day 14, you should be proposing. And by day fucking 21, we should be going to the courthouse. Like, and that's not reality. And right. I got it. That's the delusion I'm in, y'all. That's my delusion.
Well, I think, and it's practice. It's hard because I think also women are natural lovers and nurturers. So you're just trying to do you, but unfortunately, because we're in a world to where women are not set up to really understand how different men are from women, we just go in not knowing that you cannot do this because it'll put a red flag on you when we know Meek, she's obviously a green flag, and her honesty is extremely brave. And just when we hear her stories, we know how resilient she is. And it sucks that somebody would take advantage of that, but we almost can't blame them because it's like, if Louis Vuitton opened up the doors and say, this shit free, come on in, and people gonna be like, let me grab one. It's gonna be less valuable because I didn't have to work for this. Also too, Lam, something you said that stuck out to me was, first off, we know that you just have done a lot of work on yourself. And this is why we talk about the physical has to match the mental first and then physical. That's why you find people who are personal trainers and people who are health conscious, their minds are better, you know, and maybe her upbringing. But no, we don't have that logical side intact. We got the masculine energy in other ways by what you gonna do and you gonna say but we miss it with that. We're just analyzing and just stepping outside of your emotions. And it's hard because the serotonin and dopamine is leaking, but you have to be realistic, because if not, we get our hearts broken so much and it's our own fault. So it's that balancing, to me, Meek, that you have of your masculine energy and your feminine energy. So
no, it's not. Look, no, it's not. It's my upbringing, for real. Like what Dina said right here, you're deprived of that validation as a child. Me chasing my mama for those hugs, me bringing home A's just for her to pay attention to me. Like that's what spilled over into my dating life. Everything that I did to get my mother's love, I do that with men. I'm like, please see me. Hey, look, I'm a good one. You know? So it's just like, God damn it, I wish you would have gave me that love so I don't do this shit with men. But that's where therapy comes in, because it's like, that's what we talked about yesterday, girl. I'll be having my sessions.
Ain't it? Go ahead,
it's just like in the moments, I don't know to slow down. And that's what I have to do better at.
Yeah. It's catching yourself when you want to make the play, hear my annoying ass voice in the background. Don't do it. Or text me and Lamb or something. You know, it's hard. And when I do sessions with women, obviously it's outside of this, but I will say, if you have to message me, message me. If you have to text your cousin, your friend, your sister, some stuff is not for your man. Some stuff, a man should not know every emotion. Oh my God, when he left the house, I felt this. Where are you? Some stuff is not for. Text and call somebody else until you can calm, get some rationale, and then bring the conversation up if you need to. But something y'all said that really stuck out to me, especially with Dina's comment, what we were saying earlier. Isn't it interesting how We talk about attachment styles, which why don't we know this early on, at least in our teens or 20s, that if I could realize that I have an anxious attachment style, right? I when my partner leaves and says they're going to the store, I don't trust if they're really going to the store, or if or I really just need my partner all the time to bring me that comfort and love and security and warmth, not knowing that I'm just thinking it's me and my crazy mind. No, babe, it's from you lacking that nurturing and care from your mother and from your father, most times the mother, though. So this is why women like us, we can be in spaces where a lot of women can't be. And that's not to big us up, but it's because we've realized that as women, we have so much of a responsibility and we have to do better, because your home, all my astrology people know, your fourth house is your core. Your mother is your core. And when that is broken, male or female, you gonna spend a lifetime as an adult, hopefully not, trying to correct these things that if we just were nurtured and rocked and hugged and loved or told that we were beautiful or special, like Lamb said, we'd be a bit more logical. We could be like, you know what, let me not go for this.
Right.
You know, I wanted to bring, I don't know if I'm going off topic right now, but we were talking about like delusion, right? And Meek was saying what hers was. And so I'm going to say something about one of mine that I didn't realize until I had a conversation with my brother. And I think that the only way that you can get better is if you're open to receiving like criticism and constructive criticism and feedback of yourself. And so, in me going to therapy, or even before that, I had talked to my brother, because I'd never been before and he had been going for years. And my brother's very smart. The way he speaks, like the advice that he gives is really, really good. And so one day he asked me a question that I'd never thought about before. So he said, Lamb, do you have a problem apologizing for anything? And I was like, I thought about it and I was like, actually, I do. Like, do you have a problem apologizing and saying you're sorry? And I was like, I do have that issue. And he was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, I wonder why that is. And he was like, it's because our parents never said it. And more specifically, my mother. I cannot recall, not one time in my whole life, my mom saying she was sorry or apologized for a single thing, even if it was proven that she was wrong, ever. And so subconsciously, unconsciously, I adopted
Your mama,
that.
my mama, man, they best friends.
I adopted that, and I realized that when I was in a relationship with people or what have you, like I might be like, my bad or whatever, but I could never say I'm sorry. I could never apologize, and it wasn't malicious, and I wasn't doing it on purpose. I wasn't even aware I was doing it. I just know that like those words just didn't come out of my mouth. And so, in my brother telling me that, he was like, yeah, like that's something that I had to work on. And it's difficult to get out of once that's, because it's been ingrained in me since I was a kid, me not hearing something, right? So we learn from what we see and what we don't see. And so I learned a lot of positive things from my parents and stuff, but I picked up some bad habits, some bad traits. And so now, in order to fix it, me going to therapy and having tools on how to fix things, it was immediately, if I did something wrong, someone says I hurt their feelings, I did something wrong, immediately I'm sorry, my bad, tell me what I did, I'm sorry. Like I will say immediately if I catch it. Like when I catch it, it's immediate on the spot. And that's the only way that I can, get better at that. So my delusion was not realizing that sometimes I probably came off like I know everything and I'm never wrong. You know what I mean? Because I will not apologize. And so I fixed it. So now I'm the first to apologize always. And guess what? I feel better. I physically feel better just being the person to be like, I'm sorry. And when you're in a relationship with the man, a lot of the time, like all they want to hear you do is apologize if you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like they just want to hear that, okay, you've not humbled yourself, but like you are introspective and you're able to like listen and grow and be like, I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. Like that goes a long way.
Yeah. It does go a long way. It definitely goes a long way. I think that it's interesting how they say like the things you fear are the things that you should actually step into. If you fear skydiving, you probably, once you get over that, will probably love it. If you think that, someone who is Muslim is bad and blah, 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 you should probably study, the religion. And I think it kind of goes into like what Lamb said, when you fear certain things or when you want to feel defensive, you should actually probably do the opposite of that thing, which is amazing. My question for you, Lamb, was how long did it take you to like course correct and get comfortable with that?
Once I was aware of it, it was almost immediate. It was almost
Mm,
immediate. And it was only because I had been to therapy, but that part of that issue wasn't brought up in therapy because I didn't know that it was there. I didn't know it wasn't there until my brother brought it up. And because I was already in therapy, I was like, oh, I am more like relaxed and I have more of an ability to fix this. And so it was immediate. As soon as he said it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I do not say I'm sorry for anything. That's so terrible. And it was immediate for me.
it was immediate,
Yeah. But that
man.
was only after I've had therapy, right? If I hadn't had it, I probably would have been defensive that he even brought it up. Like, what you mean, bro? Like but that
Yeah,
was not
yeah.
the case.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, Lamb, because I think often about how you told me you're a twin, and I think that isn't it interesting how remember we were talking about astrology charts and whatnot. We didn't go too deep into it, but in those moments, do you see how it's so many similarities? It might express itself differently, it might come out differently, but it still has this core kind of.
Well,
I do.
Well, and the thing though is that me and my brother, I've always said it, we are the exact polar opposite of each other. Like we're just different people. But in that moment, I'm like, oh, there are things that are similar in us. And that one thing is because we grew up the same. And so it's like, even though we're completely different human beings, we still have similarities in the way that our minds think, you
Yes,
know? So
yes. And to it, yours is very interesting because it's masculine and feminine, which I think
yeah,
is super cute.
yeah.
I saw this too. This was dope, and I think this could go for a lot of people. Dina said, "Remind yourself that your inner child is dating him for 3 to 6 months." Woo! If y'all ain't looked into childhood trauma, you might
I
want
need I
to.
need explanation. I need that a little bit deeper. I don't Your inner self is dating him for the inner
Your
child?
your
Like
inner
the one that
child.
needs acceptance, like the okay.
Yes. So your inner, which, like you said, Lamb, thank you for that. Right. It's that part, like you said, within therapy, where we take the step back and say, if my therapist would have never told me, or if we weren't on this live right now hearing something about an inner child, trauma is thrown around and it's kind of joked about at this point. But unfortunately, so many people have dealt with trauma, just like we said. You're when you're a grown adult, and like Dina said earlier, you don't know your attachment style until you're older because it's the effect of it's a cause and effect type of situation. So you're out here dating thinking that I'm just a stubborn person or can't nobody tell me nothing. You're thinking that you just have this personality that's disagreeable, which is in that moment, but also too, you're bypassing it so much because you don't understand that on a psychological level, this was trauma from your childhood that you don't even realize. I was talking to my friend real quick. She was a preemie, so she was in this incubator. Isn't that what they're called? For like a while, her mom could only breastfeed her once a day. I don't
Mm.
even think she could lay on her mom's chest, and you know how important it is after the baby comes out. And she was saying how she got a brain scan done. Obviously, I won't say her name, but in the brain scan, the first thing they asked her was, "Do you lack emotions, or do you lack empathy?" And she was like, maybe a little bit. I mean, but I didn't think it was my thing to take on. That's their stuff, right? So, and keep in mind, she's a good friend of mine. I love her, but because she was so neglected as a baby, couldn't even help it. And then
Mm.
after, the case, she also dealt with some stuff from a toxic relationship between her parents. She was super neglected. So here she is just thinking I'm kind of bitchy, I'm just kind of whatever. Whole time we need healing, we need therapy because we have to fix these things that have caused damage, so much so that it's scientifically proven in a brain scans. They can see bipolar disorder, ADHD, they can see narcissism even sometimes in brain scans.
Mhm.
So I think we just have to get out of this space of thinking some of this stuff is just woo woo and just spiritual talk and you're a narcissist and really just be in a space of healing. And, that's why I love talking to you ladies because I feel like it's always a space of we can call ourselves out, fix ourselves. We even call each other out as friends, sometimes. And it's a loving, it's nurturing. It's like you care. So anyway,
I mean, for me, I want to elaborate on that. Because people always argue me up and down that I've had bad relationship experiences, but I've never had a boyfriend for more than 6 months. All of my poor experiences is from my upbringing, like just how my siblings made me feel, how my parents made me feel. Like certain things that I experience with them that I'm afraid to experience in my real life. So I don't date, like my dad was an Indian giver. I'm not supposed to say Indian giver. He was somebody who would give you something, but it always had a contingency. So they were off and on. So when they would break up, my dad would take stuff away from me. So how that affects me in dating. I don't really allow men to do much for me because I'm afraid that it's going to be held over my head or snatched away from me. So when you have that capacity where women are really grateful and usually out here begging, I don't like men doing stuff for me. Like, you can feed me, but it's like, I'm not going to ask you for nothing. And I don't want to be in a position where you can hold it over my head. And that has nothing to do with nobody but my dad. Like, nobody but him. So that man was crazy, y'all. That man was. I'm gonna tell y'all this story from my childhood because I've talked to him about it as an adult, right? And it's a crazy story. And when I tell the story, y'all gonna be like, that really don't make sense. So my parents had broke up, and this time it was my mama's house. So when it was my mama's house, my daddy had to go. So it was my mama's house, but it was my daddy's furniture. And we had a dining room table. Every day after school, we would go do our homework at the dining room table. I don't know if y'all remember, but I told y'all my mama was a street runner. Like, she just did not like being at home with us. It was like, what kids? Not mine. She would go to work. She worked 8 to 4. And as soon as she left work, she would go down to the spot, like a little after-hour spot with her friends. And she would drink until like 10 p.m. And then she would come home and go to bed. So we barely seen my mama. One day, my dad came over on the weekend in the middle of the day, so my mama's there. He said he wanted to see my brother. It was a lie. It was just a lie to get in the house. And he walked to my mama's house, and he's literally moving out furniture. And we like, Dad, why are you taking away the furniture? This man looked us dead in the face and said, yo, mama not going to be sitting at my dining room table. I'm like, she don't even be here. She don't be here to sit at the table. Like, the only people who use the table is your 3 kids. Wow. And even as an adult, when I was talking to him about it, he was like, what do I look like letting your mama sit at my table? I was like, the same woman that you complained about not coming home was still not coming home. So why the fuck did you think she was using the table? Like, why? It was real. They was fighting over this table and everything, y'all. It was crazy.
It's the pettiness for me. Never mind her, but we sit at the table. Like, do you mind your brain dead? Like, come on.
It was really like, fuck them kids for them. Like, they didn't think about us at all. Like, at all. Like, it was.
Can we just say this? March, whatever the hell it is, 2024, that for a very long period in history, children were just workers. And so it's a huge detachment from our parents to the loving and nurturing that we need. Of course, some of it was out of survival due to some of our, history, mostly all of us at this point. But children, it's a newer concept, an ancient concept that's now being recycled, because I don't believe it was always like that. I think when certain things came in, whatnot, it destroyed that connection between a woman and her child, or a child and her father. But I think that unfortunately, a lot of us got the backlash of children shouldn't be heard just saying, go do some work. It's just like this. I didn't even build an emotional connection with you to begin with. Like, I'm giving you food and shelter. That's enough. Get the hell out of my face. Like your mama said, you got something to eat. If I want to drink, and it was them running away from themselves in their life. And so it's just so much that needs to be corrected with our mental health and how we handle things. So, Lamb, I didn't want to cut you off.
I go to therapy, so I don't mess up somebody's son.
Yeah, you're toxic. Mess them up. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, Meek, this is just it's just a lot of things, man. Like,
crazy.
Yeah. We got some.
I try not to complain at all about the way that I was raised, because honestly, like, again, we talked about this the last time. Like, someone else's experience is not my own, and the whole thing. But like, when you really actually take the time to listen to what someone else lived through, then it gives you a way to be empathetic and be like, oh, I see why this person behaves this way. And even though it's like, you're an adult and you should take responsibility for your own life, you do, but it's like, you still need to understand that not everyone is you. Not everyone grew up the way that you did. And so there's a million different experiences. And so when I hear stuff, I'm like, man, that's a lot. you know, and good for you for in therapy and trying to be better and all that stuff, because people like you know, if you stay, you know, wanting to be like, I'm like this because of the way I was raised, and that's just what it is, and you do not want to try to be better at all, that's what's sad, because we're all dealt a hand that we have no control over, all of us. And so when you become an adult or whatever, like some people have the capacity to be like, I need some help to be better, and some people, I think, don't even have that ability. They don't even realize that they need to because they think that they're fine, you know? And so I think it takes an elevated person to be like, you know what, I'm doing okay, but I could be better. I could be better, you know?
Yeah. We got a comment from Malik. I think he's trolling a little bit, but he said, oh, Dina, not, he was saying that Dina mentioned the Proverbs 31, prove y'all are virtuous women. I just wanted to read the definition real quick. A virtuous woman is right, conforming to moral or ethical principles, a woman who can be trusted, a noble, capable wife, a woman of strength, moral goodness, and resolution. But it's
that.
Yeah, I mean, like prove, but that's but it's the energy behind the word prove. You know, like I get it. I get what he means, but I think this is where the issue comes in. What we've been talking about with Meek. Meek is proving this, but if you're not careful, you can prove it to the wrong person too early, who's not even looking for a virtuous woman, who's not, he hoping you ain't got no moral so you can bust it wide and let it breathe, baby. He is praying. So it's like, yes, we get that, but as women, we also have to learn that sometimes being Miss Perfect, why do you think they say nice girls finish last, nice guys finish last? And it's not because your kind, generous heart should ever be you know, taken away because someone didn't know how to, you know, appreciate it. You should keep those qualities. But if you're just going around, you know, obviously we all want to operate just naturally with morals, right? I mean, like you should be doing that for you, ma'am, not to prove it to a man. And I think that's the software that's off. Be that moral, have that moral compass for yourself, have standards for yourself. Don't send nudes because you want respect for yourself. And I think that if we can get that into our mind, along with being yourself, you know, I think we can get a lot further. So I know we're going to be wrapping it up soon, but this was just a really quick chit chat. Yeah, I just think I think what kind of triggered this was you know, the desperation. Desperation can just be so problematic because you're sitting here trying to be this virtuous or this type of woman, but unfortunately it definitely can come off a little desperate. We got another comment. Let's see what this one says. She says, wait though, celebrate that. So many women in your shoes with the men stay for so long chasing the love bombing high. Good for you knowing how to get out. That's strength. I agree. And we just need to be, you know, we don't want to be sitting out here saying everybody's love bombing, because I'm a very generous and loving person too. But the love bomb is that it doesn't stay consistent, right? It's like as soon as they get you, they discard you. They get rid of
fake.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm for sure going to work on slowing down. I have all these tips on things I need to do, and it's just like I'm implementing them daily. I feel the change, you know. Life happening slowly but surely, and I'm grateful for that. What I wanted to say before was I wanted to piggyback on something Lamb said, that we all are given like different cards. So we all are given different cards. And the ultimate goal, I think, is to just work closer, to be closer to God, though, and to be more fulfilled in what He needs us to be. And that's just what I'm learning. Like a lot of why I'm in this rush is because I'm just not fulfilled spiritually, and I don't really know myself or Him. So once I keep working on that, because that builds my confidence too. And it's really that. It's really like I have a little bit of low self-esteem. I can admit that. So I be a little bit more thirsty. You know, it's like I be needing to have that reassurance. But if I reassure myself, I'd be fine.
Right. And that's why I always say one thing that stuck out to us from a live we did with Single by Choices was I always suggest women, right? Shout out to Single by Choices and Cart Before the Horse. How you doing? But I never suggest women look for validation, especially from men. not even from your parents, because
No.
unfortunately, validation to me is something, like you said, that you can get only from yourself and your connection with your higher self, God, and so, but it's unfortunate, as people, we naturally just want to be accepted, we want to be liked, we want to be loved, and so it's very difficult to get to a space. I think for me, it started from a toxic space of never being validated, and I got so comfortable with being the weirdo, the one that's not, that's just doing whatever. To where for me, my personality now is very much, I don't give a damn what you think about me, especially when I have to be true to myself, but within that comes self-reflection and evolution of being a better version. So I think it's helped me in dating when I used to date and when I'm talking to women who are dating, because sometimes we're looking for that, be my girlfriend, validation, you're the one. And I think we should really just get comfortable with, I know I'm the one. So
I'm cool either way.
I'm cool either way, baby. Either you take it or you don't. But anyway, any final words, ladies, or comments? That's my final word on that. Did you all have anything else you want to say?
I was just gonna say, as far as like we were talking about, I can't remember, but I have a note here that says happiness, right? And it's like, how do you actually get that? And like, I don't know, there's a lot of theories or what have you, but I have found with myself that the only way that I feel happy is when I am in service to another person or other people in general. And I think that when you get down to the base of most people that are looking for something better, they're trying to help other people. Like you do that, Crystal, with what you do. Me, you do that with your podcast. You're trying to help other young women not go down the same path that you went down, right? I'm in health and fitness and stuff, and I do like community service and stuff like that. If I do not do those things, right? If I were to just be a self-centered person and be like, I just am the center of the universe and I want this and the man should do this for me and everything's about me, I would be a miserable human being. I know that. And so me doing all the things that I do makes me a happier person in general. And I think that that might be something that's a little bit lacking. I think that, because life is hard, and you have to work in order to eat and live in that whole thing. And people like, have jobs that are, say nurses and doctors and that help humanity. And that's all good. But then on a personal level, like, are you doing something personally that makes you feel good outside of, finances, like something that you don't have to do, like something that you could do freely for free and be happy with it. I think that that is a way to like make yourself feel better and be open to like even more blessings and more positivity coming at you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was my last thing. Be in service of other people. Try to make other people's lives easier, including your man, including your kids, including your parents. I don't care. Like, try to make their lives better. And in turn, there's no way you could feel bad about that unless you're going into it with an expectation of getting something back. If you're like, I'm doing something that you should owe me because I did this for you, then you're not going to feel good. But you do it freely. Don't expect nothing back, and you'll be a happy person.
Okay, preach, preacher.
Okay.
I know. That was some mic drops. That was some mic drops.
Okay, preach, preacher. Because that's all Jesus wants y'all to do anyway. Because if you was loving your neighbor like you love yourself, the world would be a better place.
Hey. Man.
And when you do that, though, here's the thing. Here's the last thing, and I'm sorry. When you do that, could there be people that take advantage of it? Could there be people that do things wrong to you because you are a good person or what have you, take advantage of stuff? Sure. Like, some people are like that, but you can't let that get you down either, because most people aren't like that. Most people are going to appreciate it, but some people and some people will take advantage. And if you allow the one-offs to dictate that, then it's going to make you not want to do what you know you should be doing anyways, or what makes you feel good, right? So anyways, yeah.
And might I add, ladies, that does not include loaning money to a man who is not your husband or close to it. Let's be clear. Because
we need to cover that next. Because
hold on 2 seconds. I'm sorry, Chris, I just cut you off, but you don't loan anything to anybody. First off, you don't loan a thing, especially if you can't afford to get it back. That's what my father taught me. Don't loan anybody anything. Don't give anybody anything that you can't afford to get back. Yes. And if you do, that's on you.
Yeah, that is. No. And I said, because everything you said was so profound. And in the back of my head, I could hear a woman being like, I gave him this, I gave him that, I gave him everything. And I'm just like, girl, like Lamb said, do not change your generous, loving character. You still have to have discernment. And that's not me mocking anybody because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? But that is
we
what,
all have.
yes.
We all need some discernment. You think we making the best choices? Does society reflect people making good choices? No.
Man, yeah. Meek, did you have any final words?
Nope. It's all, life is a journey. Do the work. Anything them people ain't give you, you got to go out and get it yourself. Because I don't care. I don't want to hear the excuses.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to say this last piece, and these are my final words. Chasing will always make you tired as a woman. Even men aren't supposed to chase, they just pursue. So whenever you're feeling like you are trying to get something out of someone, whether it's a text, an emotional response, whatever, most times as a woman, in my opinion, helping women with dating, that will be a problem. And that really stuck out to me. And also too, it takes 7 hours on average to build trust with a person. So if we can keep that in our head as women who are listening in and chatting, men and women, build that time, get off the texting and call one another, have activities with each other. If you're really trying to build something real, put in the time and effort, because most people got a facade up 7 hours in, baby, and then they'll drop it once they've spent some time with you. So I just wanted to end it with that.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I never heard that, Crystal.
Yeah, I learned that in a mother's group I'm a part of. So I was like, ooh, I'm always remember that. So yeah. So anywho, it's always such a pleasure. Meek, thanks for having us on your platform. And Lamb, I appreciate you too. Everybody in the comments, thanks for commenting. We got people on Facebook, YouTube. So please follow at Pick Meek on YouTube. Please follow The Black Lamb, because baby, it's spring, honey, and you don't want to be caught this way. Y'all asses know y'all fat.
Okay, crop top season loading. That's my hashtag.
That's my play. And Meek's platform is so refreshing because it's blunt honesty and accountability, and like Lamb was saying, just being able to reflect and change. And so it's so powerful to have us together as always. So we will be back. Please make sure you follow these ladies. I'm gonna be checking out Lamb's new videos and Meek too. But other than that, have an amazing Saturday, guys. Thanks so much for being with us. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.